E aí, pessoal, vamos voltar com o disco Elysium, cara. Esse é o último episódio do dia, tá? Eu pretendo estar zerando esse jogo porque eu tô gostando muito de jogar ele, mano. E quando eu tô gostando muito de um jogo, eu jogo ele pra caralho. Vamos voltar lá na igreja. E é no Egg, mano. É o diálogo com o Egghead. A gente precisa dialogar com ele. A gente tem que acertar os diálogos ali até ele mexer nos cabos ali. Agora, quais são, eu não sei. Vamos dar uma olhada. Eu acho que eu tenho uma ideia. Tipo, pelos diálogos que a gente já clicou, acho que eu tenho uma ideia aqui. Vamos lá.
We're close. True, hard, full, car.
Não diga nada.
Hardcore.
Não diga nada. Não diga nada. Não diga nada.
All car. All right. Yeah.
Não diga nada.
He furrows his.
Hardcore.
Tão hard. Acho que é isso.
Is it though?
Uai, peraí. Peraí. Minha ideia foi pelos... Não, peraí.
One mind. One.
Pera, não. Pera, tem como mexer em alguma coisa. Deixa eu falar com a mulher agora.
Yes, what is it?
Não, não é possível. Era pra estar dando pra falar com ele, peraí.
We're close. True, hardcore. Hardcore to the neck. Internally coherent. Good morning, yeah. 1, 2, 3. Yakokata, the place to be. It's the message, so listen and you will see. No.
Ok, parece que ele falou normal agora.
True, hardcore. Hardcore to the
Não diga nada.
Internally coherent. All car, all right, yeah.
He furrows his brow as his.
Hardcore. Is it though?
É sim.
But is it? I mean, really?
Ah! A questão é, qual é a questão?
No, but
Ah!
seriously, I'm a bit worried it isn't.
Agora ele fala comigo, beleza.
The skin on your back is crawling. For a second, you can't even. There is a hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint-Gilles Lane, right next to the canal. Don't be alarmed. Everything is okay. He isn't actually worried. Everything is still super
Ok, mano.
hardcore. What he probably means is.
Vou falar pra ele
it could
ligar.
be even more so.
Vou falar pra ele ligar a parada da mulher.
To the mega! Yeah!
3.5 sem dúvida.
Through auxiliary. What kind of a cable? Oh, she uses 3.5. Yeah. The auxiliary lining is 4.5 millimeter.
Oh no, we're going to be in this church forever.
Meu Deus.
Don't worry, I have an adapter for it right here.
Ah.
Hang on, this is a 4.5. We're all good, people.
Beleza.
Whoa, thank God. Adapters noticeably degrade the sound quality.
Great! Someone got through to him. Okay, let's get it all set up. Can
Vambora.
we turn the music off, please?
Everybody, don't panic. I'm going to turn off the on for just a sec. For
Vambora.
a special scheduled event.
Vambora. O nome desse vídeo vai ser Como Falar com o Egghead. Só pra ver se eu farmo uns views.
The honor will be back, but we're doing something else for one moment. All right, go tell her that Egghead is ready to rave to her tunes, and then I'll turn off the music.
Ok, não vou nem falar com ele, mano.
All right.
Tô com preguiça de falar com esse maluco. Vamos falar com a mulher logo.
Yes, what is it?
Muito bem, falei com o Egg, ele plugou a parada.
Okay, but think you can ask him to turn the volume down a bit?
Ah, meu Deus.
Just in...
Maximum!
Caralho.
Maximum is the only way!
Meu Deus do céu.
I know it is, but could you please turn it down just this instance? Just this one time? Maximum is not the only way, okay?
Ok.
Pump it to the brick! Pump it to the hard master! There's no other way! Glue style!
Glue style? Okay, there literally is no other way. The mixing desk is glued to maximum.
See? He pumps it to the hard master. It's hopeless.
O botão do volume tá grudado no máximo, talvez.
Of course it is.
Yeah! Permanent enlightenment!
Nossa, o Egg é louco.
Never mind then. Let's get on with our project.
Bora.
I'm going to unmute the speakers on a count of 5. Everyone ready?
Ih!
Egghead pumps his hand up in the air, waiting for the beat to drop.
Vai!
All ready.
Vai, vamos lá.
Ready.
Tá todo mundo pronto.
I'm ready if you two are detectives.
Eu tô.
The lieutenant nods stoically. Not so stoically. His hand moves to the gun holster.
Vambora, mano. Vambora.
5,
Eita porra.
4,
Eita.
3,
Eita.
2,
Ai.
1.
Não.
Mute disengaged.
No wind outside. No waves. No floorboards creaking. The woman looks around. In the silence, you see dust move on the floorboards. The driver of the speaker. In the silence, a low hum starts creeping up your
Que isso?
spine. It's a song inside you. Not in the speakers. Not in the room. A great bass sigh in the basement of your mind. Slowly, it builds until the air around you starts to vibrate. It's out there now. In the world.
Como assim?
Made manifest. It will devour everything. Floorboards, the glass, the streets and the people. Nothing will remain.
Guys, what's going on?
Eita, mano.
This fragile world is about to break.
It's getting louder.
Será que vai rolar?
In the basins, the water looks like it's boiling.
Oceana! Mother of Mega!
Caramba, mano. Eu nunca ouvi nada tão hardcore assim na minha vida.
The beauty and the beat! The future of dance!
No, Egg! It's the window!
Caramba, mano. O vidro.
In the corner of your eye, the lieutenant steps aside, cautiously. His eyes searching for a possible...
The window is going to come down. No, the roof.
Ô, louco, mano. Tá caindo tudo.
Cracks appear on the stained glass window. Cracks run up the wooden pillars in the dark.
Come down to earth! Love!
It's shaking the building's foundation. The floor twists. A great pulse arises in your flesh.
That's it. I'm muting it.
E nós deveríamos parar a Suna. Eu quero dançar com alguém. É, nós deveríamos parar.
Shit! It doesn't stop.
Não funciona.
Seal, have you?
Caramba, mano. Tá caindo tudo.
Yes, I've turned it off.
A menina desligou.
Andre, pull the compressor. The place is gonna come down.
Fuck! I can't shut it up. The signal's passed. It's not in here. It's...
In the mixing desk now, building into a positive feedback loop.
Caraca.
This is it. A great roar. The vault of the roof twists above you. Glass shatters somewhere near the door. It's coming down.
Egg, faça o que for, mas não pare. Não.
And then
Tem que parar.
it stops.
Ih, maluco.
Totally and utterly.
E tá em inglês.
As if there never was a sound. Only your ears still ring from the shock. Everybody is staring at Egghead, holding a dangling cable in his hand. A black 3-pin connector.
Egg.
Acabou?
I pulled the plug. It was getting too hardcore. You did good, Egg. Most of the place seems to be intact. Fucking hell. Programmer lady, tell me you were recording that.
Caramba.
4 years. 22 people. Millions of reals. All that time. This is what we were up against. Just erased it.
Ih, mano.
Isn't gonna believe this.
Será que
Yeah, but did you
ela
record it?
perdeu
though? It was
tudo?
dope. I think we can use it.
Yes, Andre. I recorded it. Damn, I need to send some letters now. Thank you all for doing this. Eggman, you too. And you, officer. I don't know what we've discovered, but I know what it sounds like now. That's the start.
Kim, você ouviu aquilo?
It was very hard not to. I think you're right. There is something going on here. And you need to be very careful with it.
Caramba, mano.
I promise, officer. We will not play it again.
O que foi aquilo?
It was mathematical information from the anomaly, presented as a waveform. That's what it was technically. Theoretically, I have no idea. I've never even heard of anything like this.
Caramba, que bagulho foda, mano.
A voice seems muffled in the silent church. It's your ears adjusting after the exposure.
Você vai escrever para o Sully's Law?
Yes, our lead designer. And maybe some of the producers too. And some of the writers. If they're sober enough to open a transmission. They need to hear. They need to hear about this. Don't worry, I won't send the recording. Although I doubt they have the speakers to produce the frequency anyway.
O que acontece agora?
Stay here. I'm going to stay here with these lunatics. Send letters, maybe meet Sulispov. Also devise further measurements.
Beleza.
I want you to know that's totally chill with us.
I don't care, but thank you anyway. Now, I have a theory to come up with. Some kind of preliminary explanation to all this. Or the letter will sound like I've lost my mind.
Yes, and we have to get back to stabilizing Martinez. Instead of
Caramba.
demolishing it with loud bass noise of unknown origins.
Some tiny hard thing lets go in your stomach.
Cara, formule uma teoria. Não vou nem tentar, mano. Palha, menos 10, sai fora. Caramba, que bagulho foda que foi esse, cara. É, diminuímos as missões aqui. Quarta-feira. Assinaturas. Pergunte a outra pessoa sobre o possível significado da tatuagem. Caramba, mano. Vamos ver uma parada aqui. Uai. Uai. Eita, não tava querendo abrir. A gente quase pegou 2 níveis, cara. Quase. Tá bom, o seguinte. Será que a gente consegue a assinatura da idosa lá? Da parada? Ou é melhor a gente pegar... tentar conseguir... ver o que tá escrito naquela parede lá, da Ruby. Cara, que barulhão, mano. Foi esse que trepidou a igreja inteira, cara. Que bagulho mais foda. O que tem aqui? Vamos dar uma olhada. Nada pra cá. Nada pra cá, nada pra cá. Aqui a gente já veio, pô. Não tem nada aqui. Será que a mulher tá lá dentro, mano? É bem improvável que ela esteja lá aqui dentro. Será que funciona?
The once bright mural towers
Cara,
above you,
97.
saying, Feld Electrical R&D.
Se esse 97%
is
falhar,
just a whisper away.
eu vou ficar muito puto, cara. Vai.
Suddenly,
Aê.
there's a sigh carried on the molecules around you, moving, flowing from high pressure to low pressure, like that of a woman emptying her lungs. She wraps the collapsing stone box in front of you in her breath,
Para onde isso vai?
flow in through the collapsed roof, flowing down a concrete staircase
Okay.
to the basement, sweeping away footprints in the dust on the stairs, and then the beach below the boardwalk, its winding tunnels, a whisper away.
She's down there.
Eita.
Okay, why?
Nós já olhamos em todo lugar.
Right. How do we get in there? The doors were on the collapsed side of this building.
Finally,
Tem uma
my
escada,
time
mano.
to shine.
Perhaps you can climb them. We are not climbing anything. I'm 43 years old, and I plan to live to see 70.
There has to be a way to use brute force. Climbing sounds unsafe. Brute force is safe.
Tá bom, mano.
Look around and find something to break if the ladder fails.
Tá bom, mano. O que eu posso... Tem um cano aqui. Pera, a escada da merda.
A rusty ladder leads to
Yeah, that doesn't look good at all.
Avalie a situação.
the distances between the remaining rungs are rather wide. You'd have to use the mounting brackets. However, they seem corroded and the peeling rust.
É, mano.
In addition, the first rung is going to be tough to reach. It's what, 3 meters above the ground, and you're 180? Not to mention that the roof is collapsing and the wind gets pretty brutal up there. Dismounting from the ladder is going to be hard.
Cachorro começou a
Perhaps
latir.
if you were to not climb the ladder. Instead,
Cachorro começou a latir, mano.
what if you were to do something more subtle?
Cachorro começou a latir
What
do
if you
nada. É
were
só
to
começar a gravar.
conceptualize climbing the ladder?
Você tá. Não dá pra escalar isso aqui. Tem um esgoto aqui no chão, cara. Escale. Tá, não vou escalar. Eu tenho um ponto pra colocar. Antes de escalar, vamos fazer o seguinte. A gente já descobriu um lugar pra ir. Um caminho. Vamos falar com a velha aqui. O que precisa pra ela assinar a parada?
Our tenant, the policeman.
Sugestão.
I hope the wave...
Sugestão, mano. Vamos colocar um ponto, vai?
Our tenant, the policeman.
3%?
Ah.
Nossa, isso é muito pouco. Não valeu a pena, cara. Vamos lá. Trama. Será que a gente consegue bastante... não vai conseguir nada, não. Já tô até vendo que não vai conseguir nada. Não vai conseguir nada com essa velha. Acho que isso aqui é a única coisa da sugestão, essa roupa. Ah, tenho certeza. É a única. Sugestão, cadê? Tem alguma coisa que tira a sugestão? Porque... essa aqui tira. Ah, vamos ver se a gente consegue alguma coisa.
Our tenant, the policeman.
17% é
I
melhor
hope
do
the
que
wave
nada, né?
don't keep you up at night. What
Vai.
can I help you with?
Ah, vai falhar com certeza, mas vamos lá, vai.
Like ocean
Era
waves
óbvio.
shaping the coastline, you will wear it down, pebble by pebble. Just be persistent.
Por acaso alguma compensação financeira... Ela não vai mudar de ideia.
Cops bribing citizens. Doesn't it usually go the other way? Save your breath, officer. This deal isn't going anywhere. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got this whole...
We really should focus on some actual leads. Negotiating.
É, mano, não vai rolar não. Que droga. Lógica. Cadê a roupa que eu tava usando? A roupa correta, essa daqui. Eu não vou conseguir convencer essa velha não, mano. Eu vou ficar sem completar a missão do resolve. Vou ficar sem completar a missão da arma. Vamos entrar aqui, pelo cano.
An old pipe peeks out from beneath the rotten boards of the boardwalk. Could this be an alternative path into the fell building?
Provável.
A building like this must have multiple doors serving various functions. Perhaps a basement access. Your eyes slowly begin to adjust to the darkness inside the drainage pipe. The lieutenant looks over your shoulder.
O que há aí dentro?
An ordinary drainage pipe. Darkness.
O que mais?
As your eyes adjust, you see some trash. Crumpled up newspapers, cigarette butts. Someone has half-heartedly spray-painted skulls on the right side.
Ok.
And nothing. Broken glass from bottles thrown against the walls of the pipe. A syringe.
O que há aí dentro? Pera, você já vi, mano. Esse parece um ótimo lugar para estocar narcótico.
I see. Another stop on your crusade against narcomania. I was hoping you
Meu
were in
Deus,
pursuit
mano.
of a murder suspect.
Dá pra entrar no prédio por aqui.
Given that this isn't a martial arts thriller, it's highly unlikely, and not without risk to our health either. However, the pipe suggests there may be an entrance to the basement around.
He means the pipe must be coming from somewhere in the building.
Aonde?
And it's right here. A maintenance door.
Uma porta aonde, mano?
It's jammed shut.
Caramba.
The subtle approach isn't going to work on this one.
Caramba, cara. Vamos lá, instrumento físico. Puta merda. Vamos lá, o que que dá instrumento físico? Toda hora tem alguma coisa que eu preciso de instrumento físico pra conseguir. Eletroquímica. Cara, vai falhar, mano. Com certeza vai falhar. -2, 1. Nossa, cara. Instrumento físico. Vamos tentar.
Behind the pipe.
42,
The
vai falhar.
maintenance door.
Vamos fazer aquele nosso truque. Dar aquele quick save. Eu tô cansado de falhar em coisa alta e...
Behind the pipe. The maintenance door. Rusted shut.
Vambora,
and half
vai.
sunken in sand. You and the
Falhou,
lieutenant
puta
use all
merda.
your weight into pushing the doors apart, but you're not quite synchronizing your effort.
Let's take a breather and try this again later.
Não tem que tentar mais tarde, mano. Tipo... Só tem isso pra fazer, mano. Não tem como tentar mais tarde. A gente tem que passar por aqui. Vamos de novo. Vamos tentar de novo. Vamos lá.
Behind the pipe, the maintenance
Vai.
door. Rusted shut. The metal
Foi.
doors are heavy, and the flaking rust hurts your palms. But, together with the lieutenant, you manage to slide them open just enough to squeeze in.
Good work. Shall we?
Bora. Conseguimos entrar. Eu odeio fazer essas coisas, mano. De voltar save, mas eu tô cansado já, porra. Deveria sacar sua lanterna. Beleza. Mesa coberta de mofo. Tá desmoronando. Oh, eu saí. Tinha como sair pelo negócio desmoronado. Não, volta. Desce. Desce que tem que explorar lá embaixo o jogo. Ai, meu Deus do céu. Vambora. O que tem aqui? Pasta de arquivos. Uma série de livros.
This
Vidro.
isn't just glass. These are old computation components.
Ô, louco.
Yes, filament memories. From the time when wires were cast in glass. Slides with an inlaid nervous system.
Ei, Kim, olha. Cibernética velha.
So it is. I think this used to form a single system, slotted in the wall.
É tudo que sobrou da Feld.
The rest of the building seems to have been picked clean.
The how was a closely guarded secret. Something that was locked in safes in human heads across the river where they were manufactured. As to why, your fingers don't know. The why
Beleza.
is easy.
Ô, louco, paletó. Isso era o que eu precisava. Sugestão, carai. Um ponto que eu precisava. Beleza. O cachorro voltou a latir, mano. Aí é foda. A lanterna mostrou a cama. Um boné. Propaganda revolucionária. Panela. Janela.
A mustachioed and mutton-chopped man,
Krasmazov.
amateurishly depicted, gazes at you with sad eyes. The plaque reads, K. Mazov. There is a spider web in the lower left corner of the portrait.
Retira a poeira.
Years worth of dust is shaken off. The full head of hair, matched by an ample mustache and sideburns, look a bit silly.
Continuar.
Someone crouches, heels digging into wet sand. Hands sweep across the sand. Grains stick into the frayed skin of the fingertips. An old man sits on a slab of concrete and taps his fingers against the glass of a scope. You shudder.
É Krasmazov, o ídolo dos assassinos traidores.
Some radical or radicals were hiding out here. They left a long time ago.
Caramba, mano. Quanto tempo atrás?
Half a century?
Meio século.
This was probably part of the network of defense posts the communards built against the amphibious landing. I think the purpose of this bunker was to produce propaganda. It would have had radio equipment back then, but that's all been looted.
O que há com todos os esconderijos de armas secretas e abrigos secretos?
We have found a lot of those lately. I guess what most people think of as history tends to linger in rundown neighborhoods. Martinez being what it is, no one has gone through the trouble of cleaning out the old bunkers.
Good hiding place for someone who's up to no good.
Talvez eu devesse mudar pra cá.
I won't stand in your way, but only after we're through with this case.
Isso poderia estar ligado ao busto dele lá na parada lá.
Millions of depictions of Mazov have been produced. They're not all connected. Besides, that looked like some student. The youths always go for this kind of stuff.
Alguém pode ter parado aqui.
You mean like Ruby? No, I think we've stumbled on a piece of history.
Pode crer. O Kim tá certo. Acho que não tem nada a ver com a Ruby, não. Vamos vir pra cá. Marca de bota na areia. Túnel desmoronou. Pera aí. Tem um zumbido no ar. Mais barulhento.
There it is again, like a swarm of hornets buzzing under your scalp. A strange tingling you can almost
Tenente,
smell.
você tá sentindo, tenente?
No, what do you mean?
Formigamento estranho.
I don't feel it, but we should still be careful. There were footprints back there.
Eu as vi
and I'm
também.
pretty sure they were fresh. Looks like our suspect. If she's in here, we need to plan our next step carefully. Once we detain a credible suspect, who knows what the Union and the Wild Pines will do? We'll set in motion events we have no control over.
You will upset the balance of power in Martinez.
Meu Deus do
The
céu.
deadlock between the company and the Union will destabilize. This part of town is a fine clockwork puzzle. Disturb its peace and it will start breaking down uncontrollably. Keep calm. Go over the whole situation in detail.
Nós sabemos o que a Joyce sabe, que eu tô assassino, mas tá aí também. Caramba.
Yes, there won't be time for that once things go down. Matter of fact, I don't think there's time for it now, but you're right. However corrupt he may be, nothing happens in Martinez without him knowing. We might have to dirty our hands, but, well, we are not responsible for what we can't predict, are we? I don't think the entire city will be razed to the ground.
If you can't predict it, there's nothing you could have done.
O que você acredita que tá esperando por nós lá?
I think I see a cavern. Maybe more cellars? I think we've been careful enough. We still have the element of surprise.
Caramba, mano.
I wouldn't be so sure. You haven't exactly been sneaking.
Or maybe not. Either way, once we go deeper, there will be no turning back.
O que a gente ganhou aqui? Ah tá, o chapéu. Chapéu revolucionário. O que tem aqui? Não, só desabou aqui.
Suddenly, your
Nossa.
entire body is paralyzed.
Nossa, o que é isso?
Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse. Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly.
Caramba, cubra os ouvidos.
No, buddy, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse
O que tá acontecendo
than all
comigo?
previous ones.
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
Nossa, mano.
A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She likes telling you about the machine. Keep her talking. Look for an opportunity to break loose.
O que é esse negócio pálido?
The pale? It's the end of the world.
Caramba, como você colocou as mãos nesse negócio?
I built it myself.
And she's proud of it too. As she ought to be. This is way beyond your ability.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Way beyond.
Eu vou ficar assim pra sempre?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
Nossa, mano, que... Vamos falar sobre o homem que foi morto.
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you.
Ah não, eu usei o negócio
It
sem
seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
Vamos falar sobre o cara morto.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not cops. And of herself merely as prey.
Caramba, mano. Diminui pra conversar contigo, porra.
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Caramba.
God damn it. Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
She's carrying a 2-barreled front loader. Remain careful. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but you can form sentences now.
Carai.
Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted for long enough, be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions.
Como você sabia que estávamos vindo?
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while.
Escondendo balas embaixo do assoalho?
So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Ela não te delatou.
So nice. That's one knife I didn't want to find in my back.
Caramba.
As opposed to the other knives she's finding there now. Hardly for one.
Por que escondeu?
This could have turned out pretty bad for me if you hadn't walked right into 25 bands of ultra-high frequencies.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
Você atirou em Lely?
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first.
Clage foi a primeira a compartilhar suspeitas.
Oh, I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Titus me contou.
Oh, fuck. Took some convincing my ass. Those guys liked me, I know it. This is what happens to people whom people like. How the fuck did the rest of you get by?
Espere, não foi você que me chamou de abridor de latas humano, não é, pessoal? Eu abri. Eu faço isso fazendo perguntas.
Like what? I already told you I didn't do it.
A strong moral compass. She still wants the opportunity to make a case for herself.
Você tem um álibi pra quando Lely foi alvejada?
Man, I was with the boys the whole night. I hope they at least bothered to impress that upon me.
Houve 10 minutos. Eles disseram que você só pode dar uma mijada.
Yeah, and I'm sure they also made some funny remarks about it. They always do. I've driven a lot of long haul and chugged a lot of beer, man. Can't do either without some power of mind over bladder. And anyway, that wouldn't have been enough time.
No one takes a 15-minute leak.
É verdade.
Look,
Verdade,
fuck
tenente.
you, man. I might also have stopped by the bar.
She speaketh truth.
Você diria que Lely era uma pessoa amável?
I didn't like him. Hardened mercenaries aren't particularly likable types.
Você não sente, é um trabalho duro. Você se sentiu protegendo o sindicato?
Yeah, sure. And I didn't like Wild Pine sending in those foreign hirelings. Me and a fuck ton of other people around here.
Cara,
Plenty of broken people who don't come with that kind of body count. Besides, they're paid well for what they do.
tem outras perguntas.
I'm
Cara, não
listening.
foi ela, mano. Você tem uma arma.
And?
Onde você... Vejo que essa é uma de recarga frontal. Onde você conseguiu?
The gun store.
Beleza.
Trigger Happy Jacks.
Será que essa é minha? Sério? Dedo.
What did you think? That I'm going to squeal on my gun supplier? Sorry, not
Será-
that kind of gal.
Será que essa arma é a minha arma que ela comprou?
Sure don't.
A breech loader?
No.
This is such a wipeout.
Não sei dizer que tipo de arma é essa.
A Nactway 80 front loader. 2 barrels. Not really what you were looking for, I'm guessing.
That merc was probably shot from a distance with a
mano.
military-grade rifle. Otherwise, everyone at the whirling would have heard the shot.
Tem outras evidências.
Yeah.
Quero perguntar.
Evidence.
Você deixou flor pra mulher no telhado?
No. Gifts of flowers and candy aren't really my style.
Lírios?
Nope.
Ela tava de luto.
I never did understand why, when someone dies, a hothouse's worth of flowers has to die too. No, I did not.
Caramba, mano. Ela tem álibis.
Yeah?
Pra dizer que não foi ela.
More questions before doing anything.
Ah, se não foi você que matou, mas quem foi?
How should I know? As I keep saying, he already had a bullet in his head when I got to him, and there hasn't been any useful gossip.
Those rings around her eyes, her tired voice. She's been staying up late, listening in on the conversations crisscrossing Martinez.
Police radio? You've been following the case?
Who hasn't? You know, I can still see him there, in Claus's room, lying on his side. He was still warm, but the bluish light coming through the broken window made him look as though he'd been dead for a good long
Caramba,
while.
mano. O que aconteceu domingo à noite?
She eyes you warily, as though gauging your sense.
It's okay. We just want to...
All right, don't kill yourself over it. I was shooting the shit with Hardy and the boys over a few beers, like always. Then Klasha comes in, she sits down with a drink, trying to steady her nerves. So I grab a seat next to her.
Ela parece chapada?
Oh yeah.
Verdade.
But I didn't think too much of it at first. I'd seen her party hard before.
Cláudia disse que você sabia que havia algo errado imediatamente.
No, I really didn't. She's not that easy to read. I just assumed she'd done too much blow. It wouldn't be a first for her. But no such luck. She was in some deep shit. She asked me to come upstairs. The merc she'd been going with was lying on the bedroom floor, dead. I knew she couldn't get the authorities involved, so yeah.
You made it look like he'd been hanged.
Como você conseguiu bolar plano tão rapidamente?
What? No. Faking a lynching was her idea.
Caramba!
Yeah, in cold blood. It really
Caramba!
surprised me how quickly she was able to get a hold of herself once we got up there. It was like she was another person. She asked me to help her drag him into the shower so she could wind the shower head around his neck. To fake lividity.
Que isso?
Then she dressed him while I went to get the...
She lied to
Ela mentiu pra nós.
about that, too.
Isso é terrível, que ela estava tão pelo chuveiro. Cara, isso é terrível.
Yeah. I wasn't sure whether to admire her or be disturbed.
Será que ela matou o cara?
As I keep telling you cops, we didn't hear anything downstairs. No gunshot, nothing.
But even if this is true, weren't you worried this lynching might lead to...
War? The thought crossed my mind. But the mercenary's death was going to have repercussions either way. Although the way things are going...
She doesn't want to talk about this, but not because she has something to hide.
Fuck it. I'm not responsible for these people.
Caramba, mano. Se não matou, por que escondeu?
I saw you roll into town. I wasn't about to stick around for questioning by a goddamn la puta madre agent.
So this is what she was scared to tell Titus. This cop.
Era eu então.
Yes, you. Everyone says you're his peon, his human can opener.
Eita.
Through the sudden sharp pain in your head,
Caramba.
you hear the lieutenant mumble something. To fucking hell. And why me? You hear through the... It's especially bad suddenly. Felt like a vein exploded.
Quem é todo mundo? Como você sabe disso?
Everyone in Jamrock. The cops, the criminals. Why do you think I'm holed up in here with a goddamn death ray waiting for you?
If she knows that about you, she must know your real name too.
Diga-me, qual é o meu nome?
Harry Dubois.
Ah,
One corrupt motherfucker with the disco pants and a funny tie. Agent to la puta madre.
All of this just means that you're effective. Criminals know you and are scared of you.
eu não sou agente de ninguém, eu nem sei quem é La Puta Madre.
Right. Sure. You don't know.
Eu perdi a memória, porra. Eu tenho certeza que eu deveria saber, eu perdi a memória recentemente.
Yeah, sure.
She doesn't believe.
Cara!
I'm sure La Puta Madre himself will explain it all to me soon enough.
O que fez para esse madre?
You know what I did. I fucked him over. And now I have Harry Can Opener in my lair. Fuck it, Titus.
Wait, one thing, possibly small, but she said you rolled into town. Was that you singular or plural? She might know something.
Tinha alguém comigo quando eu cheguei?
Yeah, you had your death squad with you.
Ô, louco!
What happened to them anyway?
Eu não sei!
Sure you do. I bet they're just outside waiting. I guess I'll take my chances.
Quem tava nesse esquadrão?
Well, it wasn't this scrawny dude. You had 2 guys and a lady. The guys looked pretty buff. Lady wasn't bad either.
O que mais você pode me dizer?
One of the guys seemed chipper, a blonde. The other had a brooding something or other about him.
Ah, mano, aquelas duas pessoas lá
The
no...
woman was the only one. That sound about right?
No idea who these people are, literally.
As duas pessoas lá, mano. Não, isso não me soa familiar.
Well, this has been a great talk, really. But I think I'm going to hit the...
She needs it. You better make your move soon.
Ah, mano, deixa eu perguntar isso aqui pra ela. Eu não sei se eu pergunto logo isso aqui. Vou perguntar do abrigo.
What bunker?
Esconderijo comunista lá atrás.
Don't know anything about it. No one's been around since I set up camp. But I'm sure I'm not the first vagabond to...
Ai, mano. Me curei.
Keep calm. Breathe in.
Ah!
After the pain recedes, it's a little clearer.
Vou perguntar agora pra ela. Tomara que não falhe, mano. Ai, destruímos a máquina. Vai!
You did it. The compressor lies broken on its side. It's quiet in your head again. It still hurts like hell.
Vou perguntar se o Kim tá bem.
All good, officer. Be careful.
She looks at the machine, assessing the damage. Her hand trembles.
Oh, fuck it.
Não. Ela colocou a arma. Vou tentar convencer ela a baixar a arma.
She's
funcionou.
truly desperate. She thinks she has no other options. You need to give her options. You know.
Por favor, levante as mãos. Apenas vá embora.
She stares at you, frozen, the gun still in her mouth, eyes filled with dark intensity. Then something shifts in her. Her neck and shoulders relax, and her grip on the gun loosens.
Eu tô deixando você partir.
Day of miracles. I'll take it.
É pra ela não morrer, mano.
She runs past you, then past the lieutenant, and disappears into the darkness of the tunnel.
Caramba.
Good call.
Eu fiz o meu melhor. Vou pedir obrigado.
I would have done the same had I not been incapacitated.
Eu acho que ela não fez. Eu acho que fez, mas não queria que ela morresse.
Really? That's your takeaway? I'm certain she didn't do it. Her tent. We should check it out.
Beleza. Caramba, cara. Que loucura isso aqui, hein, galera. Mano, que loucura essa parte do jogo agora, hein. Que maluquice, cara. Remédio. Vou curar a gente aqui. Vai que acontece mais uma merda. Utensílios de cozinha. Mais dinheiro. Vamos olhar a tenda dela.
The plain red tent stands by dispassionately. It was pitched by practiced hands. She's used to camping out.
Vamos olhar.
The tent looks old, but well maintained. In the darkness of the tent, a rolled up sleeping bag, cooking utensils, some books, and a kerosene lamp. It reeks of cigarettes.
Ilumine os livros.
Assorted soft covers, mostly pulp horror. A motor carriage lies buried in the snow on one cover. On another, a ghost airship. You also see a collection of radio enthusiast magazines.
See anything?
Quadrinhos e revistas.
Rager Monthly, Journal of Material Science. More Technological Digest. One of the magazines doesn't have images on the cover. It's
Caramba.
not a magazine. It's a leather note.
Caderno, pegue-o.
You pocket the worn brown leather journal.
Ok, mano.
We should read this immediately. Like, right now.
Vamos ler, vamos ler, vamos ler, vamos ler. Deixa eu ver aqui.
A thick journal. The cover is worn like someone used to carry it
Examine a
around.
capa.
It's made of full-grain leather. The lower left corner of the back cover sports an embossed brand name. Schneller. Schneller is a stationery brand from Gottwald, beloved among architects and engineers. She's got good taste and must have taken whatever she recorded here seriously.
Desenrole a correia.
The journal falls open. About 2/3 of its ruled pages have been filled.
Estude a caligrafia.
The large cursive of someone who writes quickly and confidently. Perhaps too confidently. Many phrases and even paragraphs have been crossed out, with tiny corrections scrawled above and in the margins.
Olhar a páginas.
It's a mix of
As
logistical
páginas.
notes, diagrams, and personal reflections, all dated.
It's good she left in a hurry. We could learn a lot from this.
Que tipo de logísticas?
Hard to tell exactly. It's mostly noted down in code. Looks like
There could be useful information about local operations in those notes. We have a junior sergeant at my station who's good with codes.
Esses
I can
diagramas
give this to her
representam
after we finish this.
o quê?
esoteric radio technology. The most recent ones probably pertain to the latitude compressor, sketches, calculations of distance and density. You make out a familiar spiral shape.
Algo particular.
Short, wry observations of people and places. Probably a way to pass the time on the road. Also, what appears to be attempts to sort through some difficult decisions. There are a few passages with many questions in them.
Quão velhos são os registros?
The first entry is from August 2nd of last year. It reads simply, I know my position is precarious. All I can do is make myself as useful as I can while looking for a way out. Remember,
Que ela
no one is
escreveu
indispensable.
no dia que Lely morreu.
Nothing on March 4th. March 5th, though, well, that's bound to come back and bite me in the ass. I'm bad at this. Loyal to a fault. But that's another matter. She is referring to betraying her previous employer. Does this suggest she did it in self-defense?
Algo sobre La Puta Madre.
That name isn't mentioned as far as you can tell. Small wonder. Would you talk about La Puta Madre in your journal? You do see an M, though. La Puta Madre? M
Leia o
is mentioned
registro.
on March 9th. Great. M's peon is coming to town, no doubt to investigate the lynching. But also, I feel it in my gut to finally put a bullet in my head while I'm napping in my lorry or on a smoke break. Well, I won't stick around just to twist my own neck by constantly looking over my shoulder. Then again, isn't that what I've been doing ever since I got the call? The call? Did M call her personally? Why?
Leia o registro.
Been holed up here for 3 days now. I'm used to being alone and all, but I don't know when I'll be able to leave, or if I'll be ratted out. They will rat me out, of course. I've made it a point to believe in the best in people, the boys, for example. But experience tells me. Did M feel truly betrayed by me? I was feeling threatened. He'd have to know if he threatened people, they'd take measures to protect themselves. Even I know that. Economic measures first of all. Gotta make a living, right? I can still hear his voice in the receiver. Taste the plastic.
Ok.
The entry ends abruptly.
Qual o registro mais recente?
The most recent entry is from today. Even when I leave here, if I leave here alive, what's my next move? Staging a lynching is a crime, even if I'm not accused of murder on top of that. Forever on the run. Not really my idea of the open road. Man, I was really looking forward to winning.
It looks like she might have been framed.
Eu vou perguntar pro Kim se eu sou realmente esse cara.
No, I don't think you are. Ask someone in your precinct if you want to be sure.
Nova tarefa. Quem é la puta madre?
The head of a major jamrock gang, specializing in drug production and trafficking. A very bad person.
Caramba.
He's not 100% sure you're not indebted to this very, very bad person.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. We have other reasons to arrest her. Besides, I'm not sure her life as a fugitive is going to be much better than Weda's. Especially if she has problems with the madre.
Então quem você acha que matou o mercenário?
Could have been Titus. Then again...
Caramba, mano. Parece plausível.
Either way, we need to keep an eye on him. Somewhere along the way, we might have been fed a lie or two.
Caramba,
One
cara.
thing is for certain. We have business back in the whirling and wreck.
Caralho. Mentiram pra nós, galera. Galera, mentiram pra nós. É aquela história, cara. Tem que voltar agora. Mano. Caramba. Vamos botar mais um ponto em sugestão, vai. Pra tentar passar do diálogo da idosa lá. Cara, que merda que aconteceu nesse episódio, mano. Foi bem coisa de ficção mesmo, aquela parada ali, mano. Aquela arma que ela tava usando, cara. Caramba, bem... Eu não esperava nada assim nesse jogo. Não esperava nada desse tipo. Cara, não sei o que eu vou fazer agora. Acho que agora a gente só resta voltar mesmo. Não tem o que fazer. Só resta voltar. Conseguir a assinatura da velha, descobrir onde veio o tiro. Isso aqui é tudo side. Isso aqui é principal. Caramba, cara. Eu vou encerrar por aqui, mano. Próximo vídeo a gente termina de explorar esse lugar e entrega as missões, beleza? Não esquece de deixar aquele like, se inscrever no canal aí e comentar, mano. Porra, comentar ajuda. Falou.